I am Bill O'Reilly. Joins us now. Bill, really good to have you on. Saw the big Tucker interview last night. Also going on while that Tucker interview was airing, you and Tucker, was the debates, the GOP debates. But also Trump went to a little town north of Detroit and had some things to say about the debate and the people who were debating while he was in Detroit talking to the UAW. Take a listen.
You know, we're competing with the job candidates. They're all running for a job. No, they're all job candidates. They want to be in the, they'll do anything. Secretary of something. They even say VP. I don't know. Does anybody see any VP in the group? I don't think so.
So, you know, we were doing that live last night, came out of that speech, and I said, well, I think he made some news there. I think he was telling the candidates, the people, the world, none of those guys on the VP or gals on the GOP debate stage were going to be his VP pick. What are your thoughts on this whole idea of Trump and not going to debates?
Well, Trump won the debate because there is no way that any of the 7 candidates on the stage can upstage a guy like Donald Trump. It just can't. And he was smart not to participate politically, because what does he have to gain by doing that? He's already ahead by an astronomical amount, and there's nobody going to close. So if the primaries were all held tomorrow, Donald Trump get the nomination, and unless something unforeseen comes in, then I don't see how any of the challengers, Republican challengers, could stop Trump at this point, because his support is so loyal, and the MAGA people are very, very loyal to him. And the second thing is that conservative and Republican and traditional Americans are so fed up with the cancel culture, the woke, all of this garbage with Joe Biden's ineptness. They want an avenger. And Trump is the avenger. I mean, that he's running on, you vote for me and I'm going to get these people that have caused all of this distress for the nation. And the others outside of Christie, they're not that personality type. So this time in history...
Talk about this for a second, because Christie says he came up with this tagline now, Donald Duck, as in ducking the debates and ducking Christie.
So what? So what? He can call him Goofy or Mickey Mouse. I don't know. So what? Christie has somebody write he's Donald Duck because he won't show up at the debate. All right, ha. This is so ultra important, and this is what everybody watching Newsmax should understand. This election is not just about issues. On issues, Joe Biden is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right, the border, the inflation, the disorder in our streets with the crime. It's absurd how bad a president this man has been. It's not about that anymore. Any clear-minded American knows the guy is awful, and the Democratic Party is trying to prop him up. This is about revenge on the awfulness. And Chris Christie can go up there and he can get a hula hoop or do the limbo, and it ain't going to matter. They're not going for Christie. He has no shot. And the only one who would have one is Ron DeSantis, who has taken on the wokes in Florida. But DeSantis is a little bit flat, you know, whereas Trump is so a good performer. You compare him to DeSantis, and DeSantis doesn't have that charisma. And that's what's keeping him down.
Yeah, so DeSantis, a lot of people have said DeSantis maybe should throw his support behind Trump now if he wants to have a shot in 2028, because, as you point out, with a 40 or 45 or 50-point lead, it's likely going to be Trump's to lose. So why not get behind the guy who may ingratiate yourself to the MAGA crowd who are behind Trump right now?
Well, look, I mean, all of that stuff, I don't care about it, Bolling. I don't care what the Republican Party does. It doesn't matter to me, all these machinations and all of this stuff. What I want is the American people to wake up and see the danger that we are facing with this progressive movement of which Joe Biden is a puppet. And whoever can get that danger in front of the American people the best would have my support. Because this is a long-term play for me. as an American citizen.
You know, Biden today, again, he's pointing the finger and he's really calling out MAGA, right? He says Trump, you know, it seems like if you're a MAGA, if you're pro-America first, if you're in that class, you support Trump, you're somehow a threat to the democracy. Take a listen.
But there's no question that today's Republican Party is driven and intimidated by MAGA Republican extremists. Their extreme agenda, if carried out, would fundamentally alter the institutions of American democracy as we know it. My friends, they're not hiding their attacks. They're openly promoting them.
So, Bill, according to Biden, if you're a MAGA, America first, not even Trump, it's just MAGA, you're a threat to the democracy as an extremist.
All right, so what? Bolling, so what? I mean, if you're going to believe that, then
well, I don't believe it, Mr. O'Reilly.
Listen,
Bill O'Reilly.
No, I know you don't. I don't.
Yeah,
I know you don't
but
believe
he's,
it. But if somebody believes, if somebody is still dialed in, anybody in this country, to Joe Biden at this point in history, you're actually taking what the man says seriously? I mean, how many things does he have to botch? How many? I don't think anybody listens to the man at all. I don't think his own party listens to him. They're in desperate straits over there. And so the only thing they have is you're a racist, or you're a homophobe, or you're horrible, or you're a white supremacist, or it's all garbage. But that's it. That's all they got. Because the policy is a disaster. So Trump himself, I understand why he does what he does, but he missed a huge opportunity last night by talking to the Michigan auto workers. He didn't even mention inflation. That's what's killing these auto workers. That's why they have to strike. They can't pay the bills because all the necessities of life are so much more expensive under Biden. Working people, not only in the auto industry, in every industry, are getting killed, getting hammered. Trump didn't mention that. So I'd much rather see Trump kind of zero in on the micro policy situation, stop with the election of 20, stop with this.
You know what he did do,
look,
though?
not only...
He did, Bill. What he did do, and no, he didn't mention, he talked about energy independence, which kind of touches on, but he did tell, and basically told the world, when I'm 47, President 47, look out, China. You're going to get some trade barriers. You're going to try and do it to us. We're going to do it right back to you that Biden lifted. Look out, Canada. Look out, Mexico. And he really threw some trade policy out there that I haven't heard him talk about for a long time. I was, you know, as an economic geek, I loved what he had to say last night.
Okay. Well, look, he needs Michigan. He needs the auto workers to vote for him. He came in armed with certain opinions about tariffs and protecting the auto industry and other industries. That's fine. People can make up their own minds about that, all right? Whether it's good or it's bad. Michigan he needs. Trump's got to have it if he wants to get back to the White House. Got to have Michigan, all right? That's why he was there. You know, Newsmax covered it. Other networks covered it. And nobody heard him in the debate in California that I can see. Nobody heard him one bit. So it was a good night for Trump.
Good night for Trump. All right, Bill, let's talk about the new book, Killing the Witches, with the subtitle, The Horror of Salem, Massachusetts. Now, I have my copy right here. And during your interview with Carlson, you said, Carlson, you didn't read it. I read it. I read a lot of it. I was fascinated about the Ben Franklin interchange going on. You're saying the Salem witch trials that were about a year, maybe 2 years, somehow had a long-term effect on the founding fathers and maybe even the founding of this country. Go ahead, tell us what it's all about.
Well, there's no question it did. First of all, I wrote the book because we have witch hunts now in the form of cancel culture, and everybody knows it. I mean, we're not executing people, but we're ruining lives here. And it's unabated. It's coming out of the progressive left. That's what they do. And Americans have got to be very, very clear that this is a danger to our country. You cannot destroy people on accusations, and that's what's happening, all right? Just as it happened in 1692 in Salem, where people were hanged, innocent people, 20 of them, and hundreds thrown into jail on these accusations. Now we have it here again. That's why I wrote the book. Now, Benjamin Franklin was a young boy, went to Boston Latin High, Boston Latin still there, and he took an interest in this horror in Salem, which is 25 miles north of Boston. He went to visit the chief witch hunter, Cotton Mather. He actually had a conversation in Cotton Mather's Boston home. Franklin was so appalled, even as a teenager, about this horror that was going on, that he brought it to Philadelphia in the Constitutional Convention, where Patrick Henry and Roger Sherman of Connecticut and others wanted the United States to be a Christian nation, wanted those words to be in the Constitution. But Franklin and Madison and Jefferson didn't. So there was a brawl, a ferocious brawl in Philadelphia over that. And Franklin won it by saying, is this what you want? These fanatics in Salem that did all of this? That's what this leads to, this theocracy stuff. So they won. And then we fast forward into the modern era of the cancel culture, the witch hunt that's going on today. And that's the book, Killing the Witches.
Fascinating. And again, you point out two young ladies looked like they were some sort of demonically possessed. It turned into 200. All of them tried, 30 found guilty, 20 of them hanged. You know, it's just that herd mentality. You could almost apply it to what's going on with, I don't know, MAGA. You know, they point the finger at them. Oh, it's Trump's fault. Everyone's guilty. You're all guilty. Let's go crazy.
Well, Trump,
lunacy. Go ahead.
The witch hunters, Trump is number one target of the, and he uses the word witch hunt all the time. The former president does. He's their number one target. Destroy him. Destroy him on every possible thing you can throw at him. And I think that fair-minded Americans are rebelling against that. And that's helping Trump because they know that this is wrong. Look, you may not like Trump. You may think that he's not suitable to be president. That's fine. That's fine. Okay? But to try to destroy the man with contrived garbage, which is what's happening now, is wrong.
Yep.
And it's working to Trump's favor.
Another bestseller on the way, always all there. Before we go, Holly is turning 8, I heard. You're what do I call her? Hostage Holly. Look at that. Look at that face.
Holly's not a hostage. Are you kidding me?
Hostage Holly.
Holly's got the best life you could possibly have.
Yeah. Look at her. She looks so thrilled to be there. Holly, blink twice, baby. Blink twice. Should we send help? Let us know.
What do you think, Holly has Stockholm syndrome here, Bolling, or something?
Perhaps.
This corgi has the best life in the world, okay? Free food, free everything.
Whoa. All right. Bill O'Reilly, good having you on, my friend. Good talking to you.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.